you really can up your game when it comes to surviving and protecting yourself from these toxic people. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Louise Williams and I'm the founder and CEO of Empowerment Through Thought. We are a philosophical coaching service and we help the survivors of toxic people overcome brain fog and create the life that they deserve. Now, today's episode is a special one because we are going to be talking about all the goodness that's going to be coming out for our season 2 here on the channel. Now, season 2 is called The Insider's Guide to Protecting Yourself Against Toxic People. So I'm going to preview a little bit of all the goodness to come. I'm going to explain why you should stick around, and I'm so glad to have you here today. So the way our season content works is we're going to have on YouTube here, we're going to have one episode coming out each week for 4 weeks. So our seasons are 4 weeks long. Now you're going to find lots of content here on YouTube, but we're also going to have it going out on the blog, on my website, over on Instagram, lots of good stuff all over the place. We've got our podcast. So today I'm going to be talking about the different pieces that are going to go out for each week. So week number 1, we're going to be talking about my secret weapon against toxic people. Now this one is so important to me. I've seen so many folks misunderstand what this tool is, why this tool is powerful, and I don't want you to make those kind of mistakes. I want you to get some insight into what this tool is. I want you to start using it in your own life, and I want you to do it with the kind of intention, the kind of purposefulness that you need in order to really reap the benefits if you are currently in a toxic relationship or if you are healing from a toxic relationship. Well, the things I share in this episode, so my secret weapon, this is a tool that's good for a lot of different people and a lot of different situations, but honestly, it's so important for folks who are currently dealing with or healing from toxic people, right? So, okay, yes, this is a tool this secret weapon is good to address lots of different people's issues in lots of different spaces, but it is like a non-negotiable when it comes to those of us surviving toxic spaces, right? So this episode's really important. I'm so happy to be able to bring it to you, and that's going to be our week 1 content. So for week 2, I'm going to be talking about some ancient wisdom applied to defending against toxic people. All right, so you know, I have a background in philosophy. That's my area of study, and one of the things we talk about in philosophy is, you know, what people in the ancient world were thinking about, what things that they were, you know, discussing, like in ancient Greece or in ancient India, these kind of places. So there's some really valuable tools that these folks developed that can really help us when we're trying to navigate toxic relationships. So I'm pulling on some of my big guns from my background in philosophy. These insights are not widely discussed in the abuse recovery space. So this is really going to be some very novel content, something that I think I have special insight into just because I'm a philosopher, and I really want to share that with you guys. So I think you'll find this one surprising, right? And I think that it'll be surprising because the main thing I share in this episode is not difficult to do, right? We're not talking about like a really, really complex tool or something that's going to take years of study, none of that. This is a relatively straightforward tool that the ancients started to develop that we can pick up today without too much effort, and we can really start to make a difference quickly in our experiences in toxic spaces. So in week 3 of season 2, we're going to be talking about the exact survival tool I used to defend against toxic people. So if you're new here, welcome. But a little bit about my background. I have survived a total of 4 major relationships in my life that were toxic. I had 2 toxic parents, a toxic ex and a toxic mother-in-law. So this is one of the most important tools that I have used, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is and how to use it in your own life. Now, this one is probably going to be, you're gonna feel a little surprised that I'm telling you this, and it's because when the first time you hear it, it feels like a little bit too obvious, a little bit too straightforward. But the truth is, in my most recent life, this tool is really the reason that today I live in a toxic-free space. This is the tool that helped me get some of the most long-standing toxic relationships in my life finally out of the picture. Now, of course, I say out. I'm still healing from them. It's a long process to work through toxic people, but I do not currently have any more toxicity, and it is largely because of this exact tool. So I'd say overall, this tool is the newest in my arsenal, right? It seems kind of obvious, but right, these tools, all of the tools we're going to talk about as ways to protect yourself against toxic people, they don't work very well unless you use them purposefully. You have to intentionally set your mind to say like, okay, here's my tool, here's how I am going to address this issue, right? The more intentional you are, the more purposeful you are, the more you are able to actually use these as a way to protect yourself. Now, in week 4, so the last week of season 2 here, we are going to be talking about an unspoken truth about surviving toxic people. So this is some of the like meat and potato stuff that people don't like to discuss, right? In this abuse survivor space, we often talk about like the characteristics of toxic people, and like that's important. You got to understand that stuff. But the stuff we're going to talk about in week 4 is more about you as a survivor, right? We're looking for ways you can protect yourself against toxic people. And there's some big pieces that are not discussed widely. And when you address these pieces, you really can up your game when it comes to surviving and protecting yourself from these toxic people. Now, where is this coming from? Why do I think that these are unspoken and I'm giving it to you? Well, I don't have like special knowledge or something, but I do have a background in Buddhist philosophy and I have a background in Stoic philosophy. And from those two sources, I've really been able to identify in my own journey and when I work with clients and the journeys of those around me, there are some key missteps that a lot of us are taking. And I'm going to pull on that background to help you so that you don't make those same mistakes in the future. So if you were with us for season 1, we covered the question, am I the toxic one? I just want to let you know the things that are shifting a little bit in season 2. So season 1, I really went for fewer pieces of content in more depth. And this season, we're going to be going for shorter pieces that are more digestible. So there's still going to be lots of value. We're still going to make it action-packed. I've got a new camera set up if you haven't noticed that. And we are really going to try to make it more fun, more easy to watch, and hopefully more enjoyable so that you can get this content and you can really start doing these practices that are going to help protect you from the toxic people in your life or help you on your healing journey through recovering from these toxic people. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'm so excited to talk about season 2 with you. I can't wait till this content starts being released. I hope you give us a like and you hit that subscribe button so that you stay up to date as we go through all of this great content. And be sure to give us a follow over on Instagram. We're at Empowerment Through Thought. And thank you so much for being here today. I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.